So one of the things that I did in the last year was the Giang Loop motorbike tour in Vietnam, and I'm going to give you my honest review today. So if you don't know what the Giang Loop tour is, it's basically a place in Vietnam called Giang in the north of Vietnam, and it's basically a 3 to 4 day motorbike tour, seeing some amazing scenery and having a fantastic time with the people you're with. I've seen a lot of videos online, on TikTok, on YouTube, where people saying, oh, the Giang Loop's life-changing. Is it? We're going to find out in this video as I give you my honest take. And to give this video a little bit of structure, we're going to break down the review into 5 key criteria. And that is the route/scenery, the tour operator, the tour guides and the whole group dynamic, accommodation, food and logistics, and then finally, value for money before I give you my final overall opinion. So I actually did the Giang Loop in February of 2025, so just under a year ago now, and I did it with Jasmine Tours. So when I went to Southeast Asia at the start of 2025, I didn't even plan to do the Giang Loop, but I met some lads who wanted to do it, and it ended up being something we did. And like most people, we traveled from Hanoi to Giang via a sleeper bus, and that was provided by Jasmine Tours as part of the price. And this price was £190 per person for the 3-night, 4-day tour with an easy rider, which is basically someone riding the motorbike for you. You can just sit on the back and enjoy the views and enjoy the experience. And the sleeper bus was easy enough, to be honest. We went to the Jasmine office in Hanoi, which is in quite a central location. It was at a convenient time. It was like 11 AM, and we took it was around 6-hour trip to the north of Vietnam to Giang. So we arrived there in the evening, and Jasmine have their own hostel there, give you a bed for the night, all included in the tour. There's an opportunity to have dinner there, a few drinks, pool table, enjoy yourself, and they also get your backpack and you store it away, and they store it safely for you the whole time you're gone. We were in a room with a lot of people for the first night in the Jasmine tour in Giang, but you can't really complain about that because it's all included in the price, and you're only sleeping there for 1 night before the tour begins, so no complaints. So then the very next morning, breakfast is included, and you get ready for the day. It's the first day of the tour, so you get ready, get dressed. It's quite cold and a bit rainy in northern Vietnam at this point. So I had a couple of layers on, I had a raincoat on, and also a big puffer jacket on, but that probably wasn't needed looking back. And then they have a big main hall in the hostel where they rearrange the chairs, and they had a speaker at the front sort of running everybody through what the itinerary was for the next 3 to 4 days. They then put you into different groups, told you to go get your helmet, get ready, because you were about to be assigned an easy rider, or go and get your motorbike, and it was about to all begin. And that's what happened. The process was easy enough. You were called out into separate groups, you got told who your driver was, and my guy, he said his name was Tony. Eventually I found out that wasn't true, but I think they pretty much just give you names that are easy to pronounce than Vietnamese names for British people. So Tony, he was 21 years old, and he told me that he pretty much rides the Giang Loop every single day. He has like 1 day off a month, goes and visits his family, spends time at home, and then he just goes back to back to back, which is crazy. Okay, so the criteria, the first bit of criteria, the route and the scenery. Did it live up to the hype of what you see online in terms of the views and everything you see? Yes, 100%. You're going to stop at so many different viewpoints during this time. You see so many different things, and it's some of the best views that you have seen before. You're driving through these massive long roads and high up mountains in Vietnam. You can see so far into the distance. It's just absolute nature the whole time. It's quite hard to put it into words what the views are like. I'm not even a person who's a massive fan of views and gets excited by that, but it was quite cool to see what you see on this tour. So 100% the views and the scenery did live up to the hype. And one of the common things that people say that they wouldn't want to do about the Giang Loop is, oh, you wouldn't want to be on the back of a motorbike for like 6-7 hours a day. And I absolutely take your point, and that was sort of one of my preconceptions as to why I didn't really want to do it in the first place. But when you're actually on the back of the bike, you actually stop every 30 minutes or less, so it really breaks it up every single time. You're not really driving for long stretches at many times. Maybe a couple of times you're driving for longer than that, 45 minutes or something, but most times you're stopping really, really frequently. So you get a chance to get off, stretch your legs, grab something to drink, grab something to eat. So yeah, it wasn't really a problem at all in terms of how much time you spend on the bike. Saying all that, the route and the scenery was fantastic. I think it lived up to the hype. Next one is the tour operator. Like I say, I went with Jasmine Tours, and the reason we did that is basically because you're traveling around, you speak to people all the time, you see who people are going with, and it seemed to be one of the most popular tour operators, and especially for British people generally. There were also a lot of other tour operators we heard a bit about. I think the one in second place we heard most of all was Bong. I think it just depends what you're looking for. I think Jasmine Tour operators are basically a bit more for people who want to have a more social time in the evening. It's bigger groups. A lot of other tour operators, they sort of do smaller groups, a bit more relaxed. Like I say, it really all depends on what you're looking for and what environment you want to be in. They're a proper tour operator. I've been doing this for a long time, and I really enjoy myself with Jasmine Tours. So the next one is the tour guides and the group dynamic. So what are the guides like? So it really depends on what you get. I was really lucky with mine. He spoke half decent English. Like I say, his name was Tony. He was very chatty. We were talking the whole time. He was like the only driver that had a speaker on the back of his bike as well, so I was very lucky. Got to bet out all my music. It probably annoyed everybody else, but me and Tony were having a great time. He said his favourite song was Low by Flow Rider, so I just put that on repeat about 50 times, which was good fun. But yeah, they definitely knew what they were doing, like 100%. He was 21 29 years old and he's been doing this every single day for many, many years. He said he just does this route every day, so you'd be silly if you thought they didn't know what they were doing. In terms of the group dynamics, so the group size, so basically with the Jasmine Hostels ones, everybody's in a big room at the very start. There's like quite a lot of people, maybe over 100, but then what they do is they split it into groups of 10 from there. So what that means is you'll spend your time in the day with that group of 10 people. You'll see the other groups for lunch and you spend time with them in the evening when everybody comes together, but generally when you do your little stops in your timings, you'll be with your group of 10. So it didn't feel chaotic and it was a pretty perfect size, to be honest. But in terms of organisation and communication, I can't really fault it, to be honest with you. Everything was on time. They said when they were going to do stuff and they did it. They said we're going to go for lunch at this point and we had it. It was all provided for us. It was fantastic. They gave us lunch in the afternoon. They gave us dinner in the evening. They got us to where we were supposed to be at the times we were meant to be there. We saw all the stops on the route. Communication was pretty good. It felt smooth. I felt safe. And then also in terms of the group dynamic, like I say, we come together in the evening as a big group. So everybody's together at the homestay. In terms of the Jasmine one, it is more of a party sort of social atmosphere and environment compared to doing another tour operator. So definitely if you're looking for a social tour for the Giang Loop, go with Jasmine. If not, then you might have to look elsewhere. But yeah, the guides and the group dynamic was really good. Can't really fault it. Fantastic once again. Now on to the accommodation, food and logistics. On the first night we were at a homestay. They had karaoke for us. On the second night we were at some sort of, it looked like more of a hotel, but it was, I think it was booked out just for us and the drivers at that time. And they had sort of a party room in the evening. We're playing music and everybody was coming together. And then on the third night you were staying at more of a hostel accommodation, but I was with 3 other lads and we decided for only £5 each extra per night to get our own private room on each of the nights. So I can't really speak to what the main accommodation was that you get included as part of your tour, but if you want to upgrade for a little bit more, as we did, you can have your own space, your own privacy, and it was 100% worth it. In terms of the food quality, what you were getting for lunch and dinner, it was like a massive buffet of different meats and rice and different drinks. It was proper Vietnamese food. There were so many different local things. I didn't really know what I was trying half the time. And the final criteria, value for money / would I recommend it? 100% value for money. Like I say, I paid £190, and for that money I got a sleeper bus return, so there and back from Hanoi to Giang, which is 6 hours pretty much each way. First night in the hostel before you start the tour, 3 other nights on the tour in homestays, etc. Lunch, dinner, all provided, and 6 to 7 hours motorbike driving every single day. How is that not value for money? That is, I think that's just unquestionably value for money. I think it's perfect for anybody who wants to see the sights of northern Vietnam from a motorbike. Like I say, you can choose to do it with yourself and you pay a little bit more for that to be able to ride the motorbike yourself. Or like I say, you can pay what we paid and get all that included for you. People who shouldn't do the Giang Loop with Jasmine, like I say, are people who don't want to do it as a sort of party and really social one. They want a bit more of a relaxed atmosphere. I would look into other tour operators or do it privately yourself. You can even do it as part of a Jeep if you really want to in a car. You don't have to do it as a motorbike. There's different tour operators for different needs, but if you don't really want a really loud go environment, party atmosphere, I wouldn't go with Jasmine. But if I was to do it again, I could 100% recommend going with Jasmine. I couldn't really fault them. The food, the logistics, the people, the group dynamics, the drivers, everything. Everything ran smoothly. It went fantastically. I come away from it thinking that was one of the best things I've done traveling, and I couldn't recommend it 100% any higher. It was great to spend time with the group. We got lots of different pictures. And on the last day, we came back to the very start, which was the Jasmine hostels in Giang. A lot of people do decide to give their drivers a tip at the very end of the tour. Obviously, of course, it's up to you. I decided to do it. You sort of just want to reward what they're doing. You know, they're spending 6 to 7 hours on a motorbike driving every single day. They're away from their family. It's just nice to show your appreciation a little bit at the end of the tour. So I said goodbye to Tony, went back to the hostel for a little bit, had some food, played a bit of pool, go and collect your main bag, because you just take a day bag for when you're actually on the loop, which you can just take the essentials with you, but you go and pick your bag straight up. They kept it nice and safe for you, and then the sleeper bus took us back to Hanoi that very night. So just to sum up, the Giang Loop, what an experience. Would I recommend it? 100% yes. It was fantastic. One of the best things that I did in Southeast Asia. Jasmine Tour put on a great tour for us, and it's something I will remember forever. So if you have any questions about the Giang Loop, if you're planning to do it in 2026 or beyond, let me know in the comments below. There's a lot more traveling for me coming in 2026. So if you want to support and see what we're up to, make sure you're following and supporting on all socials at I Wish I Did That Travel, or on YouTube, I Wish I Did That When I Was Younger. If you could please subscribe, leave a comment below, it really helped me out. Really appreciate the support, and see you in the next video.